My throat's a little sore, but I'm fine. Jeff was sick, and so like potentially I got what he had, but
Yeah.
but I feel fine otherwise.
Okay, good.
I just had a cold.
Okay, I'm hiding myself from view, so if I like am weirdly framed because I move, just let me know.
Okay.
Because it's hard to make the audiograms if I'm not properly framed.
Yeah.
But yes,
You know
so
that
shout.
at least with getting the video, you can move the frame around in Zencaster.
Yeah, but it's hard because like the AI makes all the different clips.
You can't change the framing before that?
I can change the framing before that, but like right now if I'm talking and I get a clip from right now and then later I'm standing over here, that's what I'm saying is like
got it.
It's hard
if
to
you
do
move.
individual. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So just let me know if I go out of frame.
I would just
I'll keep an eye on it.
Try to stay right there.
I'm
Maybe
locked and loaded.
You want to take a step forward and then you're in frame a little bit better. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Great.
Hi.
Hi. Wow. Big pod episode we're about to do.
Wow. I know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Do we want to start with a little catch up first, or do we just want to go?
We can start with a little catch up.
Okay. Where are you?
Well, where am I? I am in Aspen, where I now spend apparently half my year.
Yeah.
Well, not half my year, but this is my third time in Aspen in the last 6 months. So it's been a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah.
And every time we've come out here, it's been like at least for a week. So
yeah, that's nice.
But it's lovely to be here. There's clearly, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that there's a big room behind me. So there's just a lot more space than in New York. And we're dog sitting for a family that Jordan knows. So yeah, we have the whole house to ourselves, which is really nice. And it's spacious and there's a backyard. And right now I'm looking out 2 windows at like 3 aspen trees. And there's just lots of land. And it's just a feeling of a lot of spaciousness and kind of grounding and quiet. So I've been enjoying it. We got in yesterday, so still new, and we'll be here for another week. So I'm excited to see what the week brings.
So nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You said you saw bears?
We didn't see bears yet, but we saw bear poo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Big pile of it. We heard that there were bears around because apparently it was a bad berry season, like berry and nut season in the backcountry. And so the bears are hungry, so they're coming closer into town to get food.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say one of the neighbors said that there was a big male bear around the other day. And Louisa, maybe cut that out. And the person who owns this home, she sent us pictures of a mama bear and 2 cubs in the backyard last week and was just like, hey, just a warning, like they've been around. So don't take the trash out like till right when the trash person gets there. And also like just keep an eye out and don't let the dog out, like if you see them, obviously. So yeah, I really hope we get a bear sighting. I was very excited when I saw the pictures.
Yeah. That would be really cool to see from like the comfort of your home.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like being you're in safety, but you still get to like watch this really majestic thing. Yeah.
Was the bear poo blue?
It was red.
Red.
Blue.
Okay, so they're eating like currants or something.
I was thinking like raspberries. Yeah. So like currants or like some sort of wild berry.
Yeah. Because a lot of the time they'll be blue because of blueberries.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Wow, that's weird. Blue poo.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Imagine if you had blue poo. Like that would be really scary.
I mean, maybe TMI, but I've eaten so many blueberries that it's been blue. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like a bear.
Burial.
Or like when you have beets.
Right. Well, that's just scary when you have beets. Yeah.
And then I'm like,
gives you fright.
Okay, I hate beets. It's
Yeah.
not internal bleeding. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little scary. I've definitely had a little freak out and then been like, "Oh, no, no. Okay, okay. Phew. I'm okay."
Just remember what I've eaten.
I feel like everybody has to have one of those experiences in their lives where they have eaten beets and then they have a little freak out and then they remember they ate beets.
I'm
You got to
sure.
find out somehow that that's what that does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's healthy to look at your poo. Sorry, everybody.
It
It's
is like
healthy, okay?
don't we all do that? That must be an evolutionary thing of like, because it does give you clues about your digestive system and your insides. Like it is a thing where you like do your thing and then you kind of look back and you flush. But like, doesn't everybody look?
I mean, I look. I don't know if everyone looks.
I think everybody looks.
I'll take a poll.
Yeah, let's take a poll. I mean, right now we're at 100%. So right now everybody looks.
The odds are good.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a little peek.
Look back at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they
Ooh.
mean. When they said that, that's what they meant.
When they said look back at it, they meant,
Yeah.
"Ooh, everything's cool.
Cool.
Oh, I ate some beets."
Mm.
You never
Oh,
know.
also this morning we saw deer. And we were
Mm.
checking out the deer while we were eating our breakfast. And then all of a sudden a little baby deer walked by. Yeah, yeah. And I like had a little freak out. I was like, oh my God, that's a baby deer. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I like moved a little closer and the baby deer looked and I scared it and it ran off. And then it
Mm.
turned around. I could like see it like back in the brush. And it turned around and we were staring at each other. And I was like talking to it. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you.
Come live
Closer.
with
Come
me.
back. Come back. And it did. And like gradually over the course of like maybe a minute, we just made eye contact, me and this baby deer, and it came closer and closer and closer. And then we just stared at each other. And then it was like, okay. And then it went off. It was
Incredible.
so special.
Yeah.
I felt so connected to nature. And I was also like, do you want to come live in our house?
Yeah.
It's safe in here.
Yeah. You're going to love it. We'll watch TV together. You'll
We'll
eat what I
cuddle.
eat.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to love it.
I'll pet you while you sit on the couch next to me.
Yeah.
You're going to love the domestic life.
Yeah. That's what goes through my mind every time I see like a cute wild animal.
Right.
You're going to love your life with me. You're going to love it. Let's do this. Let's do this thing together.
Move on in. Bring all your stuff. Go back to your den and bring your stuff and just move on in.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So far, we've had like a good amount of wildlife and little chipmunks and birds. And it's just, it's so the opposite of New York. It's been very nice.
Yeah. Well, that must be nice to like have the shift from city to just complete nature.
Yeah. Absolutely. And this will go into a little bit of what we wanted to talk about on the pod today. But I'm just looking for a lot more space in my life at the moment and a lot more grounding and just, yes, a little bit more. Well, I guess just space is the word, like space to reconnect with myself and like a little bit more quiet, quieting down some of the noise, whether that's people or environment or just like having so many things on my plate that there's no room for new things to come in. And so it does feel, I've been thinking about that for a while now, and I am getting ready to move in about a month, leaving my current apartment, and I don't know quite where I'm going to go. I have some ideas, but yeah, nothing set in stone right now, but I've committed to moving. It feels like the right thing. And yeah, this feels like a really special opportunity to kind of get away. And my intention for this week is to get really grounded and like let the universe speak to me about what the next right steps are, because there's just a lot of transition happening right now in my life. And that's exciting, but it's also a lot on the nervous system and it's stressful going into the unknown. And but it feels right at the same time. It's like a weird combo of feeling very stressed and also feeling very at peace.
Yeah. Like when you know it's the right thing, but there's a part of you that's like, what are we doing? Why aren't we doing this and this and this and this and this? It's like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, in therapy, for me, I've been doing a lot of parts work. My therapist does IFS, internal family systems. And the idea behind that is that you have all of these parts within you and they are cultivated over your entire life, especially from when you're a little kid. And they are there to protect you from certain things or to manage certain things. And you have all of these parts within you. And then you have this higher self that like is your adult self that knows, no, this is actually what we need to be doing. But the biggest thing with parts work is being able to see that a part has come forward that is not your highest self and being able to identify that and listen to it and validate it and let it know, like, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'll take it into account, but like you can relax right now. And that's been so much of the work that I'm doing. But that's like, it can be so hard to do, but also when you do it, you're like, oh, that's not that scary. And it's just something that's trying to protect me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I even today was kind of trying to consider, like, I had the options for 2 different move out dates. And today is the day I kind of have to communicate what I'm going to be doing. And I was like trying to think about these 2 dates and kind of what they meant to me. And I realized that I feel very convicted that this is not the place that I'm supposed to be living. And even though I don't have a place to go, I'm opening myself up to like saying no to something before a yes comes through. But I have this option to move out essentially like 2 weeks later. And I was like, my body was like, yeah, maybe you should just do that. Maybe you should just wait. Like, just put it off. Just like give yourself a little bit more time. And I noticed, I think that that was probably this part of me that just feels stressed and unsafe about like, well, what if nothing comes through? What if like I could just put it off a little longer? But I'm like, no, I feel so convicted. Like my higher self part of me is like, no, this is not the place for me. I need to move on. But there is also this like part of me that just wants to stay in something that's good enough.
Yeah.
Because that feels better than the unknown, you know?
The devil, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So I felt like a couple of those parts coming up just even this morning and in the process of the transition. Yeah.
Well, maybe that brings us to today.
Yeah. I think it might.
Okay. Do you want me to talk? Do you want me to talk?
I mean, I guess we could just
well,
share.
We're both going to talk, but what? Well, everyone, we've decided that we're going to take a little break from the pod. We've been doing it for a year and a half. And
yeah, longer than that.
Longer than that.
A
Since
year
January.
And 9 months. Yeah.
January 2022? 2023?
Yeah. And we've been working on it since October of 2022. So almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. But just going along with the idea of like creating more space and letting go of things that are not completely right for us right now, we both were like, actually, it kind of feels good for us to take a break from this for now.
Yeah.
Like, you're going through so many transitions. I'm going through so many transitions. And you brought it up to me and I was like, yeah, I've been thinking that too. And it's felt like a thing that we have been doing consistently, but haven't really made like growth steps on because we've had all of these other things going on.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, it's all okay. And it's still been great to do. And at some point, maybe we'll pick it back up and do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I have a vision in my mind of like an alternate reality where we would have like the time and space to put everything that I want, everything that you want into it.
Yeah.
But I know for me and in talking to you, I know for both of us, it was like, it feels like we need to free up some space to focus on other things right now.
Yeah. And like you said, like this is not an ending of the pod. This is the last episode forever. This is just a pausing, and we're going to come back to it in a few months and see how we feel about it. Maybe we'll take a little bit more time. Maybe we'll have more space to come back to it in a way that feels really good for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we're kind of giving ourselves the permission to not make a call on it. Like we're going to come back to it. We both really love this, and we love connecting with each other, and we love connecting with you, our listeners. And like like we said, like we don't have to do this alone. And like we love that we get to give that to our listeners, and we get to have conversations with you, even though you're not physically present here with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like neither one of us wants to step away from that. So it's not a sense of saying like this isn't right for us ever again. It's just right now we both are needing a little bit more space to invest in other parts of our lives, to create some more space to allow ourselves to grow a little bit more. And so we're just putting a little pause button on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we're both excited to come back to it in the future and talk about what it can be going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I am excited for Linda and I to be able to just like be friends for a while and
Yeah.
not have this more like business aspect of it. And obviously, it's great. Making a podcast was something that I hadn't fully thought about for a very long time. I was like, oh, that would be an interesting thing to do. Like, I could see that being fun, but there are all these aspects of it that like I don't know how to do. And so like doing it with another person, doing it with you, Linda, like there was so much more incentive to making it. And I feel like I've grown so much in the process of making it and learned my own capacity for things and my capacity for learning, and I loved having guests on, and I
Yeah.
loved like learning from other people, and that's another thing, like when we revisit after taking a break, that we're both very interested in having guests on again, just because like it adds this other kind of magical variable where we're not sure what's going to happen. And yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
lot, so everyone knows it's a lot to put all of that in motion.
Yeah.
And we're both just acknowledging that we don't necessarily have the capacity to give a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was really special too when I brought this idea of pausing the pod to you, and like how you had been feeling similarly, and it just felt like it was a ping that I've been feeling it for a little while now, and a lot of guilt came up around it, like I built this thing, am I a quitter if I walk away from this, or if I pause it, like how will Ariel feel? Like will she feel like I want to like I'm quitting on her? Like this pod means so much to me, and what we've built and our listeners mean so much to both of us, and like what will it mean? Like will you guys still be here if we take a break and come back? Like there's a lot of aspects to like putting a pause on this that came up for me, and eventually just kind of got to the point where I was like, I know I need to listen to my pangs, and very much in line with the work that we do in TBM. But I had another situation where I had been feeling this ping come up over and over again. Well, I'll just say it because I want to be vulnerable and I want to be open. So I had a ping to pause my acting for months, and I didn't listen. I didn't listen, and every time an audition would come in, I would feel pretty annoyed by it, to be honest. I would just be like, this is something I worked so hard for so long, to like get an agent to have these caliber of auditions. And so it was interesting to notice that like when these auditions would come through, I'd just be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to like get my setup out, and all of these like annoyances about doing a self tape. And so I had this ping for a while of like, okay, this isn't feeling the way that I want it to feel. Maybe I should put a pause on this. And I ignored it, and I ignored it and I ignored it. And just recently, what, a week or two ago, I can't even remember time anymore, but I actually gotten an email from my agent, and they let me know that they were ending their relationship with me. very amicably. Like they were incredibly complimentary in the email, and they were, saying that they would be happy to work with me again in the future. And so nothing, like no major issues, but it just kind of felt like the universe letting me know that the pangs that are inside of me are not, that they are meant to align me with my higher self, and that they're coming from the universe. They're not just like kind of thoughts that I'm having, right? Especially if they're coming up over and over and over again for me. That means
Mhm.
something, and then I should listen. And so that kind of encouraged me to follow up on other pings that I've been having in my life and follow through on them. And yeah, it actually felt pretty good when I got the email from my agent. Like it felt complicated. A lot of feelings came up. I did feel sad, and it felt like a sense of grief of like, okay, this part of my life is now over for right now. Like I didn't feel like, okay, I got to go out and get another agent. It just felt like, yeah, that makes sense. And that actually feels kind of good. Like
Mhm.
I'm happy to put a pause on this. And it was wild because earlier on in the day, I had gone through and unfollowed like every casting director on my Instagram that I was following. I unfollowed like even SAG AFTRA. I was just like, I don't want this right now. I'm letting
Mhm.
go of it. And I had put my email on my phone on do not disturb. And then when I came back to it, I saw this email. So it was wild because probably when that email was sent was when I was unfollowing all these people.
Mhm.
And so that also just felt like the universe communicating with me of like, look, like you're doing the right things, like you're stepping in the right direction, but let me also just help you a little bit
Yeah.
for the next right thing, and like to make that space, because part of the reason I felt annoyed by the auditions was because I have other things I'm passionate about and things that I was feeling really called to pursue, but then I would have to take time out of my day to do these auditions, and I wouldn't be able to take that time to follow the things that were feeling really exciting to me. So with acting, who knows, maybe I'll come back to it. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's just kind of where that feeling came from of like, oh, I need to be loyal to myself. I need to listen to myself. Like there's a reason that I feel this way, and it's okay to step through the fears that are coming up, because on the other side of that, there is peace and there is alignment, and there are new exciting things waiting for me if I'm able to step away from things that are no longer aligned with me.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that the I mean, obviously when we talked about this, I was chatting about my experience with acting too and how
Yeah.
like it just felt so similar that I was like, "Ugh, I'm just ready to be done." I'm feeling like resentful about it. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned from stepping away from acting for myself was that like even though I'm doing something that I've said I wanted to do for a really long time,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that I can't take a break from it. That doesn't mean that I have to continue doing it even when it feels bad.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's a line to toe of like sticking through small hardships of it, like hard parts of it. But I think if it's a thing that you're continuously thinking about, like, oh, this isn't really additive to my life,
Mhm.
this isn't feeling right anymore, that's a thing that needs to be listened to.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, even with the podcast stuff, when you brought it up, it had been a thing on my mind for a while that I just hadn't done anything about. And it was this thing of like, oh, I probably could have kept going with it for a little while longer just because like it's momentum. Like the momentum is there where this is what we do
Mhm.
every 2 weeks and we do this and we do that. But like getting ready to edit the podcast and record and I mean we always had fun and it was always real, but there was a part of it that was like, oh, I see like a larger future for it that like
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to put in and I don't think you have the energy to put in. So, yeah, I'm just glad that you brought it up because I think I could have that's an interesting thing to think about. Like I could have white knuckled it for a little while longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for like one person to bring it up or for to get an email saying like no, this is over, or like somebody
Yeah.
else saying, hey, can we take a break? It's like those little bits of permission that I think the universe sends our way of like, oh yeah, that feels correct.
Yeah. And you already said this too, but like I feel the exact same way in that I'm so excited for us to just be friends again for a while.
Without this, yeah.
Yeah.
Without, I mean, it's interesting because I think that a lot of people, I don't want to paint everybody that has a podcast because I don't know everybody that has a podcast in their experience, but it is different. Like there are certain things that we don't want to talk about on the podcast. There are certain privacy things, like we don't want to infringe on people that are not on the podcast. We don't want to infringe on their privacy, and like certain personal things that we're not prepared to share. And there is a certain level of like censorship that I think happens when you know that you're being listened to and being watched, and so I'm excited for that to not be a thing for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. And we would have conversations every once in a while. Like we'll talk after we stop recording or we call each other and we'd have these conversations that were so like the realist, there's no filter on it of like, oh, we're putting this out into the world and anybody could listen to it. And yeah, we're both very excited to be able to have just more of those conversations and be in each other's lives in that way. Yeah.
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 Linda, what
Yeah.
are you excited for? What's something that you're excited for in taking a break?
Well, if you were just listening and not watching, my face was like doing a little screaming face because so many things. I mean, I'm excited for our friendship to blossom in a new way. Just going off of what I was just saying, I feel very excited about that. And I'm also excited to move and be in a place that feels a little bit more aligned for, well, not a little bit, a lot more aligned for me, and just makes me feel like a place where I can grow into the next iteration of myself. And I'm excited to see what happens next in my work life, like stepping away from acting, stepping away from this for a while. My God, I'm going to have like 15 hours a week more than 15 to
Oh
20 hours a week
my
more than I had before,
God.
which is a lot of time. And
That's
I'm
huge.
really excited about my Pilates business and growing that and seeing what I can kind of turn that into. I have some ideas about apps and scaling my Pilates business. And so that I'm really excited to just research that more, to work on that, to see what comes out of that. Yeah. Yeah. I guess those are kind of the main pillars, but also just to work on myself more and to use some of this quiet to go internal, because I feel like sometimes when there's just so much going on, like by the time I get to the end of the day, I don't want to do more self work. Like we've talked about, like self work is also work. And so I'm excited for some more of that space to just like take it kind of easy. Like one of the things I'm looking for in my new home is something that's just like more peaceful and aligned and quiet. And yeah, I guess when I say aligned, like the things that make it aligned are like more grounded and quiet and peaceful and really safe and homey, somewhere that really feels like a home. And using those same feelings like for my internal stuff to feel more grounded in myself and more safe in my own home and all of that. So yeah, those are things
So
I'm
good.
excited about. And just also seeing what the universe brings into my life next. Like there might be new interests that come in and yeah, new
Who
ideas in
knows?
the Elizabeth Gilbert big magic way, like new ideas that want to connect with me. And
Yep.
who knows? Who knows what's out there? And that's exciting.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited for our friendship too, as I've said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to not be texting you about the podcast and can you look, what about this, and like all of our tasks.
Yeah.
I'm excited for there not
Oh
to be
yeah.
tasks
Screw
between us.
Asana.
Screw Asana. You're super helpful, but I just want to be friends with my friend. Don't give me a task. How dare you?
Quit assigning me things.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that too.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. I'm very excited to get off of Instagram for a while because I would get on there and get our social media schedule going and then like be posting on social media. And
Yeah.
I am excited I'm going to just delete it for my phone for a little while. And that feels amazing because that's always been a thing that I've done, but it's like having the pod, it felt like a thing that I couldn't have done. I'm sure that I could have done it in one way or another. I could have logged out of all of my other accounts. But anyway, this will be like a big thing. So that'll be nice. I am excited. Speaking of big magic, I'm starting the Artist's Way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As of yesterday, starting the Artist's Way with my writing group.
Okay.
And I'm very excited for what that will bring. It's 12 weeks and I have never done it. I've had it on my shelf for years and years and years. And just, I was outside on my front porch on Sunday in the morning and in the sun, and I was reading like the intro of it and just getting so excited to dive into it and really like make the container for my creativity and do my morning pages and have my artist dates and just prioritize those things. And so I'm really grateful that I'll have more space and time to really focus on that. And I'm excited to get into the next iteration of my Airbnb stuff. Like I'm finally, my Airbnb is going really well. And I feel like I've been procrastinating on taking the next step for many different reasons. And I finally I finally feel like I am putting in the legwork and the small steps to make the next iteration happen, and just thinking about like the big picture for the future with that. So that's exciting. And I'm really excited for fall. I'm really excited for fall. On Sunday, I also went through my calendar and put in events for fall. Like we're going to go to my favorite little town called Weston, like northwest of Kansas City. And it's just like adorable. And we have a day that we're going to go apple picking and go downtown and enjoy that. And I've put in dinner plans with friends. I put in this other, like, we're going to go to this other little town that I've never been to that has a cider mill. And yeah, last year I felt like I kind of missed out on fall because we were looking for a new home. And then when we got the home, I was trying to get it all together. And then I had like an existential crisis. So this year, I don't want to miss fall. I have it on my calendar and it is prioritized. And I have my list of movies that I want to watch. And so that feels really good that I have prioritized it because I don't want to feel like I miss it, like I've missed it.
Yeah.
So those are the big things for now.
Yeah. Those all sound so exciting and autumnal and fun.
Yeah, baby.
It's inspiring me to make a little list of things that I don't want to miss in the next few months because it's going to be a busy few months for me. And
yeah,
I think it's helpful to write things out so you don't, or plan them in so you don't forget them. You're inspiring me.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, I was at work the other day and they were making a pear, like a spiced pear.
Hold on, I have an idea.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
I have an idea. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
I think we should have a virtual movie date night and like
yeah, that sounds great.
watch what's the witchy movie we like?
Practical Magic.
Yeah.
We can.
Are you already doing that?
I've already kind of penciled it
I'm
in
like 2
with
days
other
too
people,
late.
but we could find another autumn movie.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And there's so many that Jeff, I'm like forcing him to watch with me, but he's not that interested in. So like we could find one for us to watch.
Let's plan in a little movie date.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
It's done.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Back to the delicious recipe.
They were making this batch of spiced pear syrup for one of our new fall drinks. And it was just like bubbling in the back. And every time I walked in the back, it was like all the sensors in my brain were firing. Everything was like, boom, 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 autumn, cinnamon, apple picking pears. And like literally smelling that made me want to plan fall things.
Yeah, I bet. I want to get some candles. I want to poach some pears. I want to bake some apples.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's people who don't like warm fruit. I don't know how, because that's my favorite thing in the entire world. Like, warm up some fruit.
Warm up some fruit.
What's wrong with you? You don't like warm fruit? Like think about it. Like an apple, like that's baked in the oven with some raisins and some cinnamon.
Okay, you lost me at raisins,
All right,
but the apple,
I
warm
guess I'm alone in
apple,
this. Warm
cinnamon.
apple, cinnamon.
Yeah. Like an apple crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a poached pear on top of like a cake, or just poached pear, or also like warm apricot, like not even like autumn, like an apricot that's warm, or a peach that's warm, or a nectarine that's warm. Just
a warm fruit.
Warm fruit.
You just name every fruit that there is. A warm raspberry.
Or a strawberry that's
a warm plum.
Blueberry.
Oh God. No, it's good. Although I'm not a fruit pie gal. I'm not really a fruit dessert gal, but I do like warm apples, and I do enjoy like berries with cream and stuff. Like I like a strawberry shortcake. So so I get it.
But it has to be warm.
Okay. Yeah. Warm for sure.
No, it can also be cold. I just like fruit a lot. Anyway, should we leave that's where we leave you for the foreseeable future.
Anyway, we love fruit. Big news. Jeff always is like, I will say something. I'll be like, oh, I love this, or I love that. And he'll be like, everybody does. Like, I'll be like, oh, I just love the idea of going to Japan during cherry blossom season. And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, obviously, like, yeah. Or I'll be like, oh, I just love bacon. And he'll be like, of course, yeah. Everybody loves bacon. Unless you're vegetarian.
I love sleeping.
Right. Oh, yeah. God, don't you just love just like laying in bed? Yeah. But that was just like a funny thing. Yeah. I love fruit. Yeah. No, really? Cool. Both of us.
My cheeks hurt.
Is there anything else we want to share? Anything else we wanted to talk about? I feel good.
Yeah, I feel good too. I don't think there's anything else.
Okay. Well, you can always send us an email. We'll still have our email address. You can watch backlog episodes on YouTube or listen to backlog episodes anywhere that you listen to episodes.
We have like, this will be 54.
We have 54 episodes.
54 hours of roughly things for you to listen to. So if you haven't listened to all of our episodes yet, take a little peek-see down there.
If you miss us, you can listen to us over there.
That's right.
But don't message me on Instagram because I won't be there for a while. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you can always email us. You can listen to our old episodes. In our hiatus, you can also still review the pod. Tell us how much you love us and miss us.
Make us come back. I dare you.
We're going to be paused until you make us come back with your nice words on our reviews. Yeah. So the pressure's on. Yeah, you can also just like give us a star rating. That would be really nice too. And what else can they do, Ariel? You can subscribe. You can subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and then you'll get a little alert when we're back.
Yeah, that's a great idea. All right. Thanks so much for being here, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Just maybe a suggestion. What's something that you want to take a break from? That you deserve to take a break from?
Damn. Okay.
People.
Yeah, I like that.
Just a question. A loving nudge.
Yeah. What's something you've been getting a ping about that you might want to step away from?
All right. We love you all. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you for continuing to come back and supporting us and being a part of this with us.
Ta-ta for now.
Tattoo for now.
Tattoo. And auf Wiedersehen.
Adios.
Good night.
Doei.
I get
Okay, bye.